What is going on, beautiful beings and conscious co-creators? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, tuning in, subscribing, and clicking that button. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate each and every single one of you guys. You don't understand how truly grateful I am for you guys tuning in. So today's video is going to be a divine feminine reading. I tried to film this video earlier this week and it was just not working for me, and I did not want to push it, so I just stopped what I was doing and I went and did some other things that, you know, felt more like I needed to do. It felt right. So I finally feel like I can do the reading. So we're definitely going to be here for a little bit of time, just kind of diving into what the divine feminine as a collective, what it is that we need to know. I am using a group of index cards that I created. I'm kind of toying with these for a little bit before I make them into an actual deck for myself, because I really just wanted to capture specific keywords that I use and say a lot that have helped me tremendously on my own personal journey. And I did say I was going to start making videos talking about my journey, because I realized that you guys don't really know a lot about me on a personal side, as far as like why I say things the way I say them, why I do things the way I do them. And I feel like if you guys had a better understanding of who I was and who I used to be, for example, growing up, I was a very, very, very anxious child. Growing up, the word anxiety and depression were not used so widely. And so I had no idea as a child why I was so anxious. I was having panic attacks before I even knew what they were. And so I suffered a lot mentally. And I felt out of control a lot of times for most of my adolescent and early adulthood. So, I speak a lot from having went through a lot of things myself, and getting to this place now where I am confident, I am secure within myself and who I am, despite what anyone says or thinks about me. I don't struggle with anxiety. I don't struggle with depression. Do things still happen to me? Yes. Do I still have moments where I'm like, this really sucks? Yes. But I have learned how to handle those situations to where I don't feel, even when I do kind of feel a little bit out of control, I have not had a panic attack since my awakening, since my self-awareness journey. Okay. So with that being said, it was just a little, you know, bit of, like, it's just a little small picture of like who I was and who I used to be. But I definitely want to talk more in depth about that. So, I hope that's something that you're looking forward to. So we're just going to go ahead. I'm not going to prolong you guys. We're going to go ahead and jump into the divine feminine reading. I prefer these readings be read. I prefer you guys to listen to these readings when you're the least distracted, so that the messages are hitting you. I always say I'm a no-fluff reader, but also I may not always say what you want to hear. But if you were to just put your ego aside, I may have said something that you still needed to receive. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just jump into it. What is the message for the divine feminine right now, Spirit? What do we as a collective need to hear? What do we need to talk about? What do we need to speak on? What's the topic for today's reading? Vampire. Okay, so like I said, guys, I created this deck, so I have a understanding of each and every single one of these index cards, what I wrote, why I wrote it, and also the keep in mind that the messages will constantly transform and evolve depending on where I am and the energy that I'm feeling surrounding this topic at any given point in time. So, vampire is it's talking about relationships. When you think of a vampire, you immediately think about relationships they have with other people, that for the most part it sets them apart as far as how we form opinions on them. Because vampires are, creatures. Well, we're going to just entertain the fact that, vampires are a real thing for a second. Just humor me. um when you think about vampires, you think about the fact that the things that set them apart from normal human beings is that they drink blood, right? And they fly. And they sleep in coffins. But there are a lot of people that sleep in coffins, and we put a lot of dead people in coffins. So let's just focus on the fact that, they drink blood, because that's a big thing that causes people to fear them. Um, I can guarantee you just about every single movie you've ever seen with a vampire will show a vampire using a person, an individual, trying to gain their trust, trying to get them to like them, trust, just trying to form relationships with these people that are arguably disingenuous. Or they could just be out here terrorizing. It's usually one or the other. But the concept in the focus is that the relationships are almost never real, authentic, symbiotic relationships. True Blood was maybe a little bit symbiotic because the humans wanted the vampires to drink from them, but we're gonna act like True Blood is not a real thing right now. For the purpose of this card, when this card would come out in a reading, it's to really pose the question to all of my divine feminine sisters out here. How many relationships are we entertaining that are only serving one person? A relationship requires two people. And the reason why I say parasitic is because in a parasitic relationship, only one person, only one party is being served or serviced or receiving a benefit from. And the other person is just kind of the host. Every parasite needs a host. And my question to you is, are you the host for these people in your life? So I would be calling you to, this is my call to you, to do an evaluation on the relationships that you have in your life. Every single relationship. I mean, no one, maybe with the exception of small children, is discounted from this list, this homework that I'm giving you. I want you to, I even told someone to do this, is to take out a piece of paper and write down all the names of the people that are close to you, and write down next to that name what the mutually beneficial aspects are of that relationship. Because for each person, there should be something. This is actually challenging the concept that someone should be in your life just because, they're your cousin, or someone should be in your life just because, they did you a favor 10 years ago. This is challenging, complacency when it comes to relationships, because you would find it interesting how many people we entertain on a day-to-day basis that we realize we really don't have to. And actually, it's actually quite draining. Vampire literally is draining you. And so I'm wanting to know, basically, who are the vampires in your life? Who are the people that have access to you, that call you when they only want something? They have no regard for you as a person. They don't care about what you've got going on. They don't inquire. They only, in fact, if this person wants to call you, you know exactly how that conversation's going to go. They're going to ask you for a favor. They're going to ask you for some money. They're going to ask you to watch their kid. Shout out to Rap Shit. I just watched that movie yesterday with my husband, and it was, not movie, it's a TV show, but I really like that show. I love Issa Rae, though. I'm biased. There will be no Issa Rae slander on this channel ever. I don't give a damn what she did. Anyway, but you know that this person wants something. You know what I mean? This person doesn't care about you. This person doesn't care about your dreams, your goals, your visions. They don't care about supporting that. They don't care about speaking life into you. Their only purpose when it comes to you is, what can I get from this person? This person will take advantage of you if given the opportunity. This person will betray you if need be. They only see you as an opportunity. Steer clear of people who see you as just an opportunity. Steer clear of people who see you as a means to an end. If you don't feel appreciation from that person, that's a problem. And now, I will say, if you don't feel appreciation for that person, it doesn't necessarily mean that person is a vampire, okay? I always tell people when they ask me for relationship advice, whether it's a platonic or romantic relationship advice, I always tell people, first, you can never assume that someone just understands you. You can never assume that someone just knows how to act towards you or how to treat you. Because we all come from different walks of life. We all perceive things differently as well. So it hurts you more than them when you assume. So I always say, when it comes to a person that you feel like should change, or you want them to do something specific or do something different or treat you different, voice that to them. Be vocal. Say, hey, I don't like when you do this. Or I would like if you did this more often. Or please don't do that. Start speaking it. Now, the issue comes in when you vocalize that and when you are making yourself clear, and you can do those psychology and those therapy techniques where you say something and then you ask the person to repeat back what they think they heard so that everyone's on the same page. There's no room for confusion. Because I'm going to tell you, for an example, hey, I really don't like when you call me and only ask me for money, and it feels like you don't care about me as a person. You don't really ask me about how I'm doing or if I need anything. I really don't like that. And I just want to bring that to your attention because I want this to be a relationship where I can come to you just as you can come to me. First of all, if you say that to someone and they have a problem with it, red flags. Red flags out the gate. That's first. Second of all, you have now established and vocalized what it is that you want and desire in this relationship. And I would ask them, okay, so what did you hear me say? Because I just want to make sure we're on the same page. And again, if that person gets defensive, red flag. Because why would somebody be defensive about you wanting clarity on the situation because it's a problem for you? If that person gets defensive or deflects, red flag. And when I say red flag, I mean that's something that you should not be ignoring, because there's only so many red flags before at some point you have to understand this is just who this person is. And it doesn't necessarily make them a bad or good person, but it does make them a person that may not be for you right now where you are in your journey. Because not every relationship is going to serve us right now, present time where we are. So it serves as 2 points. You get to vocalize what it is you want. You get to see how they react and respond. And then also how they carry out. Does the behavior change? Because if it changed, then you know they heard you. Actions speak louder than words. So you know they heard you. Now, if weeks go by and the behavior doesn't change and they still are treating you the same way, well, now it's your fault. You've heard that saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, J. Cole said it differently, but we're not here for violence. So we're just going to say it the original way, which is once they've shown you that they're not, because it's not that they didn't hear you. I want you to point out, I want you to understand. I don't care even if they told you, oh, well, I didn't hear you or I didn't understand. No, that's why I asked you to say it back to me so you understood. So we have literally gotten rid of that possibility. So at this point now, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, you don't care. You don't care enough to consciously do it. You don't care enough to write it down and make sure you're doing it. It's not important, because a person makes time for things that they identify as important. The person always, listen, If there's nothing that you hear from me, if a person gave a damn, you would know. You would know. Okay? So don't try to trick your mind into continuing a parasitic, vampire draining relationship. Don't trick your mind into continuing to pursue that because you have fooled yourself into thinking they didn't mean it or it's going to change. Because what you're going to end up statistically, what you're going to end up, the place you're going to end up is sitting down by yourself, mad that you entertained this person for 10 years and, you know, now you're mad at them and you hold zero accountability. I gave you your remedy right there. So now you have no one to blame but yourself. It is your fault that you sat around for 10 years waiting for this person to change. That's on you. That's not their fault. Everyone has choice. Everyone has the power of choice. And when you understand that and when you hold that value that you respect everyone's right of choice, you move differently. So I was actually going to pull out cards, but I don't think it's necessary. I'm gonna leave with that message there. I hope this resonated with some of you guys. Again, your homework, your homework is to write down the list of people that have access to you. I mean, personal access to you, people that you identify as being close to you or people being friends. I'm not talking about coworkers. And I want you to write down what the characteristics of your relationship is with these people and how it is mutually meaning both of you guys are benefiting. How is it mutually beneficial to both of you? And you should have an answer for every single person. Again, with the exception of like minors and small children, because obviously that's a different dynamic. But I'm talking about, you know, 18 and up, where you're able to start sustaining yourself. How are you treating me? Because that is, at that point is when you can start holding people actually responsible. Okay? So that is your message, Divine Feminine. I hope it resonated. If it did, ashe, ashe. I'm grateful for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Okay? Bye, guys.